Hey guys, Mr. Yisley here. Just want to continue on with the next section of our Chapter D notes, all about decimals. And so one of the questions I get is, when will I ever use this? When do I use addition and subtraction of decimal places in my everyday life? Well, this is a great example of it. So many of you, as you're starting to get older, are probably going to start getting bank accounts where you'll deposit your money from when you're working or that you've been given, or you'll take your money out of writing checks or using your debit card or just withdrawing cash from the bank. And so it's really important to learn how to balance your checkbook. One of the questions I get with that is, well, isn't that what online banking is for now? And I would tell you this: that's a great secondary source. But banks do make mistakes. So it's a really good idea to make sure you know exactly how much you're putting in, how much you're taking out, and you're keeping an accurate ledger of what you should have in your bank account. And then you can use online banking to verify that. So we're going to talk about how to use this in real life, and we're going to work every one of our addition and subtraction problems out by hand just to get the practice in. In real life, you could use a calculator, that would be fine, but for just practicing and using this and showing you how it all works, we're going to do all of the addition and subtraction problems with our decimals by hand here on our piece of paper. All right. So balancing a checkbook. We've got some information here about, suppose you have a checking account with $750 and then spending for the month of February. Here is what took place. Well, let's talk about this ledger you have here that you would use for balancing your checkbook. These typically come in your checkbooks. You can also purchase them at office supply stores and stuff. But let's talk about each column. So this first column here would be where you would enter a code for different things, types of deposits, all those different things. We're not going to worry about that too much. So if you want on your paper, just draw a little line through it that you're not going to use that one. The next column is our date, and so we are going to use that one. It's important to know when you took the money out, when you put it in, all of those types of things. Our next column here is our transaction description, so we would write what it was. It was a gas bill or electricity or a deposit, those types of things. Then we've got our next lines here, which are subtractions. So these are things when we take money away from our balance sheet. Now, one of the things is, you may notice under subtractions is it actually has two columns, a bigger one and a smaller one. Well, this line right here that you see represents your decimal place. So this is where your cents or your tenths and hundredths are going to go. This is where all of the whole numbers are going to go. So this is a nice dividing line for us to figure that out. Our next two columns, we're not going to use that, so we're going to go ahead and just mark those out for right now. And then our next column here, we have additions. So our additions are anytime we deposit money into our account. And again, it works much the same as the subtractions. This line right here is your decimal place. So if you want to mark that just to make sure you remind. So everything in this smaller column is going to be your cents, so your tenths and hundredths. Everything in this column is going to be your dollars, so your whole numbers. And then last thing we have right here is known as our balance. And again, works very similar. This line right here, that's your decimal place. All right, this line, so everything to the right is your cents, your tenths, hundredths. Everything to the left is your whole number, so your dollars. All right, and so as we enter this information, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill out the columns that are necessary. And not every column is necessary on every transaction that happens, and we'll show you what that looks like. So first thing they tell us is we started checking account with $750. So that is our beginning balance. So up here, if you notice above this first row right here, we have a bigger or a separate column right here, and that's where that number goes. So in my dollars, I have 750, and then in my cents, I have 0, no cents. All right, so it goes in that column right there. Now you may notice on your paper that we have like kind of a wider row and then kind of like a shaded row. It didn't copy extremely well, so these are actually separate rows. So if you want to, just go through real quickly and separate your rows with those extra lines, because we will need those especially on your assignment. So I'm just going to draw a line in right here. If you want to be really particular, you can use a ruler. So I'm just going to draw these in right here. And I'm just going to do the first few because we don't have as many transactions happening on our example problems. So I think that should be enough. All right, so let's take a look here. So it says beginning February 1st. All right, so there's a Q. We've got a date. So February is the second month. So right here, I'm going to put 2/1. All right, there's my date. It says that our rent was due. So our transaction description would just be rent. All right, and our rent was $575. $575. Well, we need to decide, is that money going into my checking account or money coming out? All right, well, that's money I'm paying, so that means I've got to take it out of my checking account. So that's going to go under our subtractions column. So for dollars, we had 575. And for cents, there's nothing listed, so that means 0, 0. Well, now I've got to figure out what is my balance after I do that. So here's where I got to go in and I've got to do the math. So because it's a subtraction, we start with our beginning balance, which was 750. Let me make sure you can see this. Yep. 750.00. And then I've got to subtract 575.00. So I've got 575, line up the decimal points and place values. 0.00, subtract, and draw my line. All right, and we can all see that. There we go. All right, so then as we've been practicing, start to the right. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring down my decimal place. 0 minus 5, I can't do that. The number on top has to be bigger, so go next door and borrow one. So 4, this becomes 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Then I've got 4 minus 0. Oh, can't do that again because it's not bigger. So go next door, borrow one. This becomes 6, and this becomes 14. So 14 minus 7 is 7, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So I should have $175 left after I pay my rent. So I write that right here, 175.00. So that's how that works. So again, that's all going to line up, and I know that my new balance is $175, so that's all I have left to spend at this time. So I've done this one, check. So now I need to go on to the next one. Well, it says on February 5th, oh, there's a date. So 2/5, there was groceries that cost $63.62. $63.62. Well, groceries, that means I'm spending money, so that means I've got to take out of my account again. So I'm going to write my description, which was groceries, and again, that's a subtraction, so $63.62, and now I've got to do that math. So I'm going to subtract from my beginning balance, which was $175 and no cents, and I need to subtract $63.62. So I'm going to write that out. All decimal places are lined up. All right, I see that I don't have anything under this one, so I'm going to put a 0. All right, well now I need to start far right. So 0 minus 2, can't do that. Number on top has to be bigger, so go next door to borrow. Nothing to borrow here, so I need to go next door one more, borrow from the 5. So that becomes a 4. Give that to this one, which becomes a 10. Now I can borrow, so I'm going to borrow from the 10 and make that a 9, and this becomes a 10. There we go. So I've got 10 minus 2, which is 8. 9 minus 6, which is 3. Decimal place. 4 minus 3, which is 1. 7 minus 6, which is 1. And 1 minus 0, which is 1. So this tells me I have $111.38 left. All right, so check, I've done that one. So now I need to go on to the next one. Well, it says on February 10th, I had a phone bill, so I got to pay my cell phone bill, and it was $70. So again, that's money that I have to pay out, so it's coming away from my checking account. So on February 10th, so 2/10, I had phone bill, and it was a subtraction of $70.00. All right, well, I've got to take that away from my balance in my account, which is $111.38, and I'm subtracting $70, so line that up, so 70.00, and we're going to subtract. All right, so 8 minus 0 is 8, 3 minus 0 is 3, bring down the decimal place. 1 minus 0 is 1. And then I've got 1 minus 7. Well, I can't do that, so go next door and borrow. So that 1 becomes a 0, and this becomes a 11. And 11 minus 7 is 4. And then I've really got 0 minus, oh, forgot to fill in 1. 0 minus 0, which is 0. So that doesn't do me any good. Don't need to bring that down even. So final balance is $41.38. So when we look at this and we're looking across the rows, we should see that everything lines up. So what we subtracted from the balance up top should now bring us our new balance directly across. All right, so I paid my phone bill. Well, gotta get my gas now so I can get to work. So on February 12th, we had a gas bill for our car of $28.32. So on February 12th, 2/12, we had a gas bill of $28.32. Well, again, that's me paying out, so I have to pull money out of my account for that. So that'd be $28.32. So we're subtracting that from our balance in our account, which is $41.38. So initial balance starts here, so 41.38 minus 28.32. So 28, line up our decimal places, 32. Write my subtraction in my line, and now I'm going to do it. So starting on the far right, 8 minus 2 is 6. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down the decimal points. 1 minus 8, oh, can't do that because 1's smaller than 8, so go next door and borrow. So 3, and that becomes 11. 11 minus 8 is 3, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So at the end of that transaction, I should have $13.06 left in my account. So that's getting pretty low. Hopefully we don't have any unexpected expenses come up. So that one is done. Well, I see on February 15th, so 2/15, we had payday. Oh yes, finally we get paid from our job. That's a good deal. Payday. Right? Well, payday means that we're receiving money now. So that's an addition. So that's going to go in our additions column, the one we haven't used yet. So in addition, we got paid $580.25. So with this one, we need to add that into our account. So our initial account balance, which was $13.06, then I got paid $580.25 or 25 cents. So again, I need to make sure I line my spots up. So I'm going to line up the cents first. So 25. Then I need to line up the rest of it. So 0, 8, and 5. And now again, we're adding, so we need addition and line underneath. I see above the 5, I don't have anything, so I'm going to add a 0 right there. All right, and now we're going to go in and add. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So bring down the 1's place, which is 1, and carry the 10's place, which is a 1. So I've got 1 plus 0, which is 1, plus 2, which is 3. Bring down the decimal place. 3 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 8 is 9. And 0 plus 5 is 5. So our ending balance after we got paid is $593.31. So now we've got a little bit more money. So hopefully you're starting to get the hang of this. I would encourage you at this point to go ahead and try the rest of these on your own. So go ahead and figure out, are they payments, are they things that we have to pay out that we're receiving, and try to finish out the last 5 transactions that take place. Then once you're done, unpause your video and check your answer with mine. All right, so I'm going to continue on. I see that on February 17th, so 2/17, we had groceries again, bill. So groceries for my description of $60.80. So again, that's money I have to pay out for that food. So that's going to go in subtraction, so $60.87. All right, well, I now have to take that money and subtract it from my balance. So over here, I'm going to write out, and move this over so we can see my initial balance, which is $593.31 or in 31 cents, minus $60.87. All right, and again, this is a subtraction. This is money we're paying out, so I've got to put that information in. Well, I see right here I don't have a 0 underneath my 5, so I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to start to the right, and I'm going to do my subtraction. So 1 minus 7, well, 1's not bigger than 7, so go next door and borrow. This becomes a 2, so I end up with 11 minus 7 now, which is 4. Next column, 2 minus 8. Oh, can't do that, the 2's not bigger, so go next door and borrow. So 3 becomes 2, and this becomes 12. 12 minus 8, that is 4. Bring down our decimal point. 2 minus 0, that is 2. 9 minus 6, that is 3. And 5 minus 0, that is 5. So our ending balance at this point is $532.44 in our bank account. So groceries are paid. So next one, transaction happens on February 21st, 2/21. We got a utility payment, so got to pay for those electric bills. So utility payment, and it is $46.26. So $46.26. So again, that's money we're paying out, so it goes in the subtraction, so $46.26. And now I got to take that away from my starting balance, which is $532.44. So over here on the left, let me make sure we can see it. Starting balance, $532.44. And I am going to take away $46.26. Subtraction and here. And I'm going to add my 0 in here. All right, so starting on the right, 4 minus 6. 4 is not bigger than 6, so got to go next door and borrow. This 4 becomes a 3, and this becomes 14. 14 minus 6 is 8, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So 18 cents, bring down my decimal. Then I've got 2 minus 6. Well, 2 is not bigger than 6, so go next door and borrow. That becomes a 2. That makes this a 12. So 12 minus 6 is 6. Then I've got 2 minus 4. Well, can't do that. 2 is not bigger than 4, so go next door and borrow. This becomes a 4, and this becomes a 12. So 12 minus 4 is 8, and 4 minus 0 is 4. So we end up with $486.18 in our account. So I'm going to write that right here, $486.18. All right, so paid our utilities. Now we've got our car payment, because our car that we use to get to work. So on February 25th, we had a car payment. So car payment of $103.45. So that means we are paying out. This is coming out of our account. So again, this goes into the subtractions section. So $103.45. And I've got to subtract that from my balance in my account. So my balance in my account is $486.18, and I've got to subtract $103.45. So subtraction, there we go. So here we are, 8 minus 5, that is 3. 1 minus 4, I can't do that, so got to go next door and borrow. So this 6 becomes a 5. This 1 becomes an 11. So 11 minus 4 is 7. Bring down our decimal place. 5 minus 3 is 2. 8 minus 0 is 8. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So after my car payment, I should have $382.73 left. All right, so check, made my car payment. So now we're on to February 26th. Got to put some more gas in that car. So 226, I had gas to get for my car. Didn't sound quite right. So again, that's money being paid out. I've got to pull that out of my account, so it goes in subtractions. So $27.85. All right, that means that I got to take that away from my balance. My current balance is $382.73, and I'm subtracting $27.85 from that. All right, so we're all lined up. I see that this doesn't have anything underneath, so I'm going to add a 0 just to keep myself in line and start on the right. 3 minus 5. Well, 3 is not bigger than 5, so got to go next door and borrow. So 7 becomes 6. 3 becomes 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. Then I've got 6 minus 8. Well, 6 isn't bigger than 8, so got to go next door and borrow. So this 2 becomes a 1, and the 6 becomes 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. Bring down our decimal place. 1 minus 7. Oh, 1's not bigger than 7, so got to go next door and borrow. This 8 becomes a 7. The 1 becomes an 11. So 11 minus 7 is 4. 7 minus 2, that is 5. And 3 minus 0, that is 3. So after I get gas, I should have $354.88 in my account. All right. So last thing that happens according to this is on February 28th, so 2/28, we have another payday, so we get paid again. Yay, exclamation point. Well, we get paid again, $580.25. So $580.25, that's money going into our account. So that again goes into our additions. So that's going to go in this column, 58025. And we've got to add that in with our remaining balance that was there before. So I've got $354.88. And I'm adding to that $580.25. So addition, draw my lines. And follow our normal addition rules. So 8 plus 5 is 13. So bring down the 3, carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So bring down the 1, carry the 1. Oh, got to bring down my decimal point. Then I've got 1 plus 4, which is 5, plus 0 is 5. Then I got 5 plus 8, that's 13. So bring down the 3, carry the 1. Got 1 plus 3, which is 4, and 4 plus 5, which is 9. So at the end of all of this, we should have $935.13 in our bank account. Finished that. Excellent. Well, hopefully that was a clear explanation of what you need to do on your assignment. This is what it should look like. You should have all of the work shown, columns lined up as they are. Just make sure you're paying attention to, is it money coming out of your account or is it money going into your account?